Feleipe Franks has had a very interesting football career. He spent most of it in the spotlight after being a top quarterback in his high school recruiting class and attending Florida before transferring to Arkansas, falling below the radar. Franks recently declared for the 2021 NFL Draft a little over a month ago and looks to be a late round pick. But who is Feleipe Franks? In the Who Is series, we go through the backstories of up-and-coming collegiate and pro athletes. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and let me know who you want to see in future episodes. Feleipe Franks grew up in Crawfordville, Florida, a town about 5,000 people, about a half-hour south of Tallahassee. Along with football, Franks played baseball from t-ball until his junior year of high school. During his freshman year, he jumped between varsity and junior varsity, playing third base before becoming a pitcher his sophomore year. Franks was the 500th best prospect according to Perfect Game, but stopped playing baseball after his brother quit the team. Franks was actually drafted in the 31st round of the 2019 MLB draft by the Boston Red Sox after not playing baseball for almost 5 years. Franks attended Wakulla High School, where he teamed up with his brother, Jordan, who was recruited as a wide receiver but played several positions including linebacker, safety, and tight end at UCF and is currently a tight end for the Cleveland Browns. Feleipe not only played quarterback in high school, but he also handled most of the kicking duties for his team. During his sophomore year, Franks threw for 1,842 yards, 18 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. The following year, Franks threw for 2,249 yards, 28 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions, while also rushing for 425 yards and 3 touchdowns. Franks was named Class 5A second-team All-State and was quickly becoming a top prospect for his class. As a senior, Franks led his high school to a 13-2 record and reached a state title game. Franks finished his senior season throwing for 2,766 yards and 35 touchdowns, while rushing for 245 yards and 4 more touchdowns on the ground. Franks was named to the Elite 11 final team and was actually the first player invited to the competition, while also playing in the 2016 US All-American Bowl in San Antonio. According to 24/7 Sports Composite, Feleipe Franks was a 4-star recruit who was the 5th best pro-style quarterback, 9th best player in Florida, and 54th best player in his class. Franks had over 20 different Division I offers from the likes of Alabama, Clemson, Florida, and LSU. Originally, Franks committed to LSU, a decision he made in the spring of 2014. He decommitted from LSU during a time period where there was uncertainty around whether Les Miles was going to lose his job or not. Franks wrote on Twitter, "For about a month now, I have been talking with LSU about decommitting. I have given this process a lot of thought and feel it's only best for me to make my decommitment public." After Franks decommitted from LSU, Florida quickly became a frontrunner for the Crawfordville product. During this time period, Franks made his 3rd consecutive visit to Florida and later committed to the Gators, filling a much-needed hole after the Gators failed to recruit a quarterback in the 2015 class, according to Bleacher Report. When Franks first got to Florida, he was not completely polished. For those who followed the Franks recruitment, they all believe the same thing. Give Franks time, he's a gifted athlete, just needs time to develop. Franks was redshirted by Jim McElwain in 2016, and many hoped Luke Del Rio or Notre Dame graduate transfer Malik Zaire would be able to take over the starting spot in 2017. Unfortunately, Del Rio got hurt, and Zaire was unable to win the starting job. Franks was named the opening day starter and showed he was not ready, struggling in a 33-17 loss to Michigan. Franks was replaced by Zaire during the game, but although he wasn't ready, he was Florida's best option at quarterback. Florida lost 6 of their last 7 games of the season, and during that time period, McElwain was fired. Franks finished his freshman season throwing for 1,438 yards, 9 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions, while completing 54.6% of his passes. Florida would hire Dan Mullen to be their next head coach. Mullen had developed a reputation of developing quarterbacks. He developed Dak Prescott and turned Nick Fitzgerald into a legitimate dual-threat quarterback after being a triple-option quarterback in high school. Franks wanted to make a good first impression, wearing a suit to the get-to-know-you meeting, telling a teammate the meeting was a business meeting. During his freshman year, Franks was not too keen on scrambling. Mullen wanted to utilize his feet and explained he didn't need to play like Mike Vick, more like former Utah quarterback Alex Smith, who had been willing to run. He wanted Franks to take what the defense was giving him. Franks struggled at the beginning of the season, including a performance against Missouri where he threw for 84 yards and was replaced by Kyle Trask and booed out of the stadium, according to The Athletic. There were some talks about a quarterback change, but that would all be silenced when Kyle Trask broke his foot in practice. Franks spent the week leading up to the South Carolina game reading what fans were saying about him, which weren't great things. Franks took the comments personally, and after he scored on a 1-yard touchdown to seal the game on a 4th and goal, he had a message to send to everybody in the swamp. He put his finger over his lips to shush the crowd. Florida went on to win their last 4 games of the season, beating Michigan in the Peach Bowl. Franks had deleted social media and took the advice of using his feet more from Mullen. He finished the season throwing for 2,352 yards, 23 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. He also added 6 touchdowns on the ground and caught a pass for a touchdown. Franks looked to build on the 2018 season. Unfortunately, his 2019 season was cut short. Feleipe Franks' 2019 season was cut short due to an injury he suffered in the 3rd game of the season. Franks scrambled on a 4th and 1 and ran into a wall of Kentucky defenders and was grabbed from behind by another player. Megan Mullen, the wife of Dan Mullen, told The Athletic, "In 18 years as a coach's wife, that was definitely the most devastating and heartbreaking moment during a game I've ever experienced. Here's a young man who has dedicated himself to our new program. He finally had his dream of confetti falling on him in a New Year's Six Bowl. In his mind, he was ready to have a special season, and in an instant, right out of the gate, it's gone." Franks needed to get surgery, and after, 20 teammates, Megan Mullen, and her 2 children visited him in the hospital. The following day, Franks was sitting in a meeting helping Kyle Trask prepare. At the time, there were some people talking about Kyle Trask taking over the starting job, but this injury sealed the fate of Feleipe Franks. Trask played extremely well in 2019 and looked like the clear favorite to take over the Florida quarterback job for 2020. Franks, who had been at Florida since the Jim McElwain era, would either have to be the backup quarterback or transfer. Franks never felt sorry for himself, telling The Athletic, "It would be selfish of me to sit back and pout. That's not what team players do. All those things factor in, and they help you become a better leader, a better person, a more selfless person. There are so many different attributes that help me in life, not just in football." Franks debated about turning pro, but he knew he needed better tape to improve his draft stock. Over at Arkansas, Sam Pittman had just been hired as the Razorbacks' brand new head coach and brought in Kendall Briles to help run an up-tempo spread. They decided to bring in the veteran Franks due to his arm and athleticism. Going into the 2020 season, Arkansas had an uphill battle. They had not won an SEC game since 2017 and were playing an SEC-only schedule due to COVID-19. Arkansas would lose to Georgia in their season opener, but beat Mississippi State in the 2nd game of the season. Arkansas finished the season 3-7, while Franks finished throwing for 2,107 yards, 17 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions, while also rushing for 1 touchdown. Although the record may not be eye-popping, Franks helped Arkansas be competitive and perform better than expected. Arkansas was unable to play their bowl game against TCU. Franks could have played one more season at Arkansas due to the frozen eligibility, but instead chose to declare for the NFL draft. Franks is currently projected to be a day 3 pick and performed well at the Senior Bowl, which has helped his draft stock raise over the past week. It will be interesting to see where he goes in April. If you enjoyed this video, check out my other videos in the Who Is series. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and as always, remember to embrace the grind.